Yes, the hits keep coming at Dr. Fauci, now being exposed by China's worst-kept secret that leads directly to Barack Obama's desk. My friends, what I'm about to reveal in this report is a bombshell, and of course, now everybody is starting to point fingers to try to figure out who exactly is to blame. And Fauci obviously pointing the finger at China. We've got all the details, and before I get into that, if you're new here, tap that red subscribe button down below, then hit that notification bell so that you are the first to know when news breaks. This story from Matt Vespa at Town Hall reports that China lied and people died. It's something the world should keep on repeating because it's a fact. And the only thing that is more pathetic is watching an authoritarian regime trying to pull a fast one in the era of social media. Now, I should point out, yeah, we can point the finger at China, but shouldn't we also be pointing the finger at the Barack Obama administration? Well, despite that last point, we have more details to come in this report. But now Dr. Anthony Fauci, who's the director of the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases, a deep state official, serving five administrations, who's now currently one of President Trump's top task force officials, went on MSNBC's Al Sharpton and said that China gave the U.S. misinformation. But what else has Fauci been withholding from the American public? We're going to tell you in a moment. Now, but Fauci's also stating that the misinformation, he says, and by the time they realized the information was bogus, it was too late. So let's play this first clip here.
Let me ask you this. When did it occur to you in your capacity that this was a problem that would reach pandemic proportions? We had all kind of reports about when Washington was notified, the Congress, the White House. When did it occur to you that we were in real danger here?
You know, it occurred, well, there was always this thought that there was some danger. But when we got to the point where it was clear that some of the misinformation that we initially got from China, because remember, their first cases were reported at the very end of December 31st. They said it was something like 24 cases in this wet market where these exotic animals are sold and there's a human-animal interface. And the proposal that was made by the authorities in China was this was just jumping from an animal to a human, and it wasn't spread from human to human. Then it became clear when you look back that it was likely in China that there was human-to-human spread. By the time we got that information and we started getting cases here, it was, well, it's not efficiently spread from human to human. But as soon as it became clear that there was community spread, which means that it isn't just a travel-related case, that there are cases that are in the community under the radar screen, then it became clear that we were in real trouble.
Now here's where it gets interesting, okay? Jamie White of InfoWars adds a very important point to the conversation. In a recent article, he notes that according to the Daily Mail, in 2015, the Obama administration and the National Institute of Health under Dr. Anthony Fauci outsourced to the Wuhan Virology Lab, ready for this? They outsourced by awarding them $3.7 million in research grants for scientific gain-of-function coronavirus experimentation on bats. The Obama administration gave $3.7 million to the Wuhan Virology Lab so that they could study coronavirus on bats. And here we are today. Even Congressman Matt Gaetz expressed his disgust upon learning the United States government's role in China's coronavirus research. He said, quote, "I'm disgusted to learn that for years the U.S. government has been funding dangerous and cruel animal experiments at the Wuhan Institute, which may have contributed to the global spread of coronavirus and research at other labs in China that have virtually no oversight from U.S. authorities." Now, in the InfoWars article here from Jamie White goes on to cite an interesting point. This is from the Daily Mail. This has been circulating today. It is a damning Headline: Wuhan lab performing coronavirus experiments on bats from the caves where the disease is believed to have originated, with a £3 million grant from the U.S. Now, they changed the headline. They actually, after the InfoWars story came out, and I think I can pull up that point. After the InfoWars story came out, following the publication of this article, the Daily Mail revised their headline in a way that shifts blame from China to the U.S., framing the story as though the U.S. was ultimately responsible for releasing the coronavirus upon the world. Now, of course, Fauci everyone's pointing fingers at China, but shouldn't we be taking a look at Barack Obama? Shouldn't we? I mean, the buck stops with him. If they gave $3.7 million to the Wuhan Virology Group? So following the publication of the article, Daily Mail revised their headline in a way, and this is the updated. So here's the original headline here. And now they changed it to this. Revealed, U.S. government gave $3.7 million grant to Wuhan lab at center of coronavirus leak. Scrutiny that was performing on experiments on bats from the caves where the disease is believed to have been originated. So think about all this. Now everyone's pointing their fingers at China, but no one is taking it all the way back to the Obama administration. Nobody. This was all happening on Obama's watch. Your taxpayer dollars went to a Chinese virology lab with zero congressional oversight. Now, a lot of people, even Dr. Shiva, who's been a guest here several times, have surmised that the entire thing had markers of a bioweapon. Of course, those things are now being discounted in the mainstream press. But the fact remains, bioweapons expert Dr. Francis Boyle, who I've interviewed in the past, confirmed most of these points in the interview last month, arguing the likelihood of the novel coronavirus outbreak originating from a biolab in Wuhan was extremely high, warning that COVID-19 was probably a bioweapon leak from that lab. Okay? Now, there's a point here that they also make. A 2015 article from The Scientist describes the concerns that scientists had with creating a coronavirus chimera out of a lab, which resulted in a moratorium on gain-of-function coronavirus research in the U.S. So the moratorium was actually in the United States. So why in 2015? So why do you think they shifted the research to China? Barack Obama's administration gives $3.7 million to a Chinese lab after the moratorium. So what do? They shifted. They outlawed the research here in the United States, shifted to China. The only impact of this work is the creation in a lab of a new non-natural risk, biodefense expert and biologist Richard Ebright said. Now, when I spoke with Dr. Shiva, also, this point was brought up, that Indian researchers scanned the novel coronavirus genome and found unique cell identification and membrane-binding proteins located in the HIV genome, suggesting the 2019 coronavirus is a lab-made chimera, but withdrew their findings after receiving pressure from China. China has their fingerprints, obviously, all over this. They're putting pressure on the World Health Organization. They're putting pressure on Indian researchers. They're not putting out truthful numbers. And the left-wing mainstream media willfully doing the bidding of China, even going as far as if you call it the Chinese virus or the Wuhan virus, you're labeled a racist. That's the irony here. But you have to look at the big picture. Anytime this information comes out, China puts pressure on, it evaporates, it disappears. But I think the big picture here we got to talk about is the fact that it was the Barack Obama administration delivering $3.7 million after the moratorium on studies of coronavirus were done here in the United States, pushing the studies into China where they screwed up. The virus was leaked, and here we are today. You have a perfect storm, a perfect opportunity not going to waste. You have deep state actors delivering inflated numbers, Those inflated numbers not being given proper consideration for the economic impact, destroying the economy so they can come back around and blame Trump as we're seeing Fauci do today. Going in the media and saying, yeah, well, I told President Trump, he didn't listen to me. Going on CNN, making these points known, and the media eating it up. Wow, we got Dr. Fauci saying Trump didn't listen. Holy cow. You see how this is all working? We can all sit here and we can look back and we can draw the lines of every single data point and figure out exactly what was going on and when and why. The big picture, I truly believe, is that yes, there's a virus. Yes, it's a threat. But the threat is overblown. And it's overblown to the point that the media is manipulating the numbers based on the overblown projections, striking fear into the American people, causing the policymakers to have a knee-jerk reaction, triggering the shutdown of the economy. 17 million people's lives are shattered because they are out of work. People are locked in their homes, going stir crazy, all because Fauci and Birx, what did they do? They didn't consider the economic impact, or did they? Or did they? I'll leave that up to you in the comments below. We'll see you at the next report. For the Next News Network, I'm Gary Franchi. Thank you for watching that report. Can you believe 14.4 million Americans fell victim to identity theft in 2018 with over $1.7 billion in damages? Now with the recent COVID-19 pandemic, fraudsters are desperate and they're on the prowl. It's a smart idea to protect yourself from an identity attack. IdentiSafe offers identity protection for as little as $9.99 a month. They provide access to credit monitoring, dark web scans, 24/7 identity agent support, social security monitoring, full dark web scans, up to $1 million in insurance, and a 30-day money-back guarantee. Now, I personally use and trust IdentiSafe to protect me and my family's identity. Don't delay. Sign up today. It's free for 30 days, and they offer a 30-day money-back guarantee. Go to identisafe.com/nextnews. That's identisafe.com/nextnews. The link is in the description. We'll see you at the next report. For the Next News Network, I'm Gary Franchi. Thanks for watching the Next News Network. Tap here to subscribe to the channel to get the latest news and alerts. Tap here to watch our latest breaking news and our top stories. Tap here for our latest featured interviews. And make sure you tap here to get in on the new podcast, the G-Cast, with my wife Angie and I. We'll see you at the next report. For the Next News Network, I'm Gary Franchi.